Okay, so I'm going with something a little different today. A bit more in depth with the runes for the horse. So this one is where I mainly use Domination Path. Predator is the main one. So why do we use Predator? Well, challenge for 1.5 seconds out of combat to gain 45% movement speed for 15 seconds. Damaging attacks or abilities end this effect, dealing 60 to 180 bonus adaptive damage. So that's why we use that, because one, it makes you faster and it gives you extra damage on your next ability, and obviously your next ability is going to be your E, you're pressing your E. So I have my Predator boots on too, so I'll press 2. If you've got Ghost, you can Ghost as well. Wait until the Predator kicks in and then press E into them. You know, that E's going to have that extra damage on it. And obviously the extra movement speed is nice as well. You could look at Electrocute. Personally, I prefer Predator. Some people have said to me Electrocute's better. I don't think so. Dark Harvest, I've not tried it because I just don't see it being any better. Sudden Impact, now this one I have tried Cheap Shot before now. I just don't think it gives you enough. Sudden Impact's definitely the way, because after exiting stealth or using a dash, leap, blink or teleport, dealing damage to any champion grants you 10 lethality and 8 magic penetration, and your E as you leap to them triggers that. This one's interesting. Any of these three are useful. Zombie Ward, I quite like Zombie Ward. I quite like Poro at the moment. I'm going with the Eyeball Collection for the extra damage. So Champion and Ward takedowns give you eyeballs, an adaptive bonus of 0.6 attack damage or 1 ability power per eyeball collected. Upon completing the collection of 20 eyeballs, you get an additional 6 attack damage. So it's just a little bit of extra damage, but every little helps. And on this one, it's close between these two. So Ravenous Hunter means that your abilities, the damage you do with your abilities, heals you at 2.5% plus 2.5% per Bounty Hunter stack. And you get a stack each time you take down on any champion, so you can get it up to 15%, but you have to get a takedown on every champion to do that, which obviously you are going to do through the game, but I don't know just quite how much it gives you. I don't know if it's enough. At the start it's only 2.5%, so I prefer this one, which gives me 10% active item cooldown reduction plus an additional 6% per bounty hunter stack. Now that makes it nicer, because that means that I can get 30% bounty, I can have 40% active item cooldown reduction instead of the 15% healing from abilities. I can have 40% active item cooldown reduction. Active items you're going to use, I'm going to come to items in a minute, but certainly Yomu's and certainly your boots, this will stack on. It also includes your trinkets, but we'll have a look in a minute at some other items, what you can use as well, that do tie into that as well. And I go with Sorcery on the mini one with the Ultimate Hat and Celerity. Celerity is pretty much a given. I don't see how you wouldn't take that. 3% increased movement speed. Bonus movement speed is converted to attack damage or ability power, which stacks so nicely with his passives that I don't see how you could choose anything else. Ultimate Hat is my favourite one because it reduces the cooldown on meal by 5% and up to 15% in total if I use it 5 times. So that's just worth, I think, because Hecarim's ult's so important to him. If you don't have your ult, it's a lot harder to kill people, which is pretty much the same for every champ, but I just like to have my ult as much as I can. The cooldown is long on it, so I think it's worth it. You can look at this one as well, because the only problem with this one is it's on this line, so that's why I don't use it. But it's nice if you go in with that with E, full damage, extra damage on your E, it's nice. You could also look at Water Walking, but I just don't think that it's enough. I think the Ultimate Hat's better, so that's what I go with. And Celerity, I've tried some other ones, but I'm playing mostly AD at the moment, so this is the one I go. If you were going tank, there are some other options. It used to be better last season, it was better, the tank options you had on him, but there's not so much now. But we'll have a look at that in another video anyway. We'll have a look at what alternative builds you could go. Your jungle item, what you're going to use is going to be this one. Some people say you could use this one, the damage is reduced here, maybe, but this one steals their movement speed, so I take the Stalker's Blade. First, I tend to go this to start. And then next item will either be this or boots. If I've had to back early and I've got enough gold for that, then boots. Ideally, you want your first back to be Stalker's Blade and boots. Ideally, Stalker's Blade and boots. You're in the game. You can smite enemy champions. You're in the game. Your first item you're going to finish after you've got Stalker's Blade and boots is going to be Triforce. Some people say you should finish a jungle item. Personally, I just don't think it's any worth. I would go Triforce all day long without thinking about it. I tend to try and go Sheen first because the Sheen proc damage on your Q is worth, and you get the extra mana, which is useful. You need it. It's also some cooldowns. I go the Sheen first. If I can't finish the Sheen, then maybe these two. But Sheen, Phage, this one last. Finish the Triforce. I think that's the best way. Once you finish the Triforce, boots. Either these or these. You can go Tarby. Sometimes it's worth to go Tarby. If they're all AD, maybe Tarby. If you're behind and you've got a lot of CC, maybe Treads, but the majority of the time I just take Boots of Swiftness for the extra movement speed, because I like to be fast. And obviously it does give you a little bit of resistance to slow, so it's still useful. If it's a heavy CC, then you can go Treads, especially if you're behind. You'd probably be better to go Treads. Then I would say finish the jungle item, and seeing as Cinderhulk's been nerfed now, I don't think there's any point in looking at anything other than Warrior. You could still go Cinderhulk if you were building tank, then fair enough, you go Cinderhulk, but I don't tend to build tank on him that much anymore, just because of the rune changes we were talking about before. So I would then go Youmuu's, almost certainly. Youmuu's second item. If you were going tank instead, then you'd probably go Spirit Visage or Deadman's Plate, depending on what the threat was. If the threat was AP based, if the big threat was an AP champ, then you'd go Spirit Visage all day long. If it was an AD champ, then you'd probably go Deadman's for the extra damage anyway from the Deadman's proc, which is nice. Third item, after Youmuu's and Triforce and your jungle item, obviously you've got your boots. The next item, you've got quite a lot of choice, and it depends on what. If you're playing for Troll and you're going for full damage, then you probably want to go IE or Phantom Dancer. For that one, you used to be able to go Duskblade and it was really good, but Duskblade now isn't as good because they changed it and took the movement speed off it, which meant it wasn't as good. Personally, if I had Youmuu's and Warrior and Triforce, I probably wouldn't build another damage item if I was playing seriously. If I was trolling, then I would have built IE, but if I was playing sensibly, I'd probably build Spirit Visage or Deadman's at that point for a tank item, just because he's not good at Baron. If you build full damage, you just get melted at Baron. So I'd probably build another tank item. I'd probably build Spirit Visage. And if I did want another damage item, you've got IE, you've got Sterak's Gauge, you've got a lot of good options. You can go Shiv or Phantom Dancer on him. If you go Shiv, it's fun, but it's not easy to play him. You're better to build a tank item. I would say you're better to build a tank item. So first item, Triforce. Second item is going to be Warrior, Enchantment, but Boots of Swiftness before you finish that, I'd say is better. Triforce, Boots of Swiftness, Warrior, Enchantment, finishing that jungle item. Youmuu's for the extra active, and then if you're being sensible, Spirit Visage and probably Deadman's. If you're not being sensible, if you're just building full troll, then IE and Shiv or IE and Phantom Dancer is the way to go. It's fun. If you want some fun, build IE and Phantom Dancer and just watch them crit people while just whacking them over the head constantly with the side. It's very fun. So that's going to be if you're building damage. If you are going to build tank and you go and Cinderhulk first, or you're thinking of going Cinderhulk Adam, I'd still say probably build your Triforce first. Triforce and tank. If you're building tank on him, still build Triforce. It's tank build is Triforce and tank. It's not full tank, otherwise there's no point. It's got to be Triforce and tank. So finish your Triforce first, then get your Cinderhulk, and then for your tank items, this is probably the best one on him because it helps your W be better, makes your W better. And if you're building tank, then you're going into the fight, you're tanking the damage, so you want to be healing up off your W as much as you can while your team are putting their damage down. The Spirit of Dread means that I think it's 20% of the damage he takes, he heals back, or 20%, sorry, of the damage your team deal in the fight to anyone within his W, he heals up. So if you're building tank and you've got Spirit Visage and you've got your W on in the middle, then it's even better. You can just become invincible for the length of your W as long as your team are putting damage down. yeah, Deadman's is obviously very popular on it because it makes you go faster, and then it makes you eat even more damage. You get 100 bonus damage on your eat, so that works nice, makes you tankier as well. Some of the other options you've got, those are the main two. You can go Thornmail on him if it's a heavy auto attack comp that you're facing. Thornmail makes sense. Helps you kill the ADCs because when they auto attack you, it puts grievous wounds on them, so that's useful. Helps you kill them. Omrecher is also a thing. The problem with Omrecher is that the times if you go on Triforce first item and then you're looking at Omrecher, by the time you've got the Omrecher finished, if you're so far, usually the enemy don't have that many turrets left by this point when I'm playing, so it's not as useful, but it is a good item. I do like it. There are certain isolated games where Omrecher could be the right item, and if I get one of those games, I'll make a video and show you what I mean by there's times when you can use Omrecher. But it makes you go faster near enemy turrets, so it makes your dives OP. But unless you were going to go Omrecher first, and I don't see the point, but it's just, you can't go Omrecher first, you just can't do it. It's got to be a secondary item, and therefore that's why I end up not building it most of the time. Again, you can go this, you can go Righteous Glory. Righteous Glory is very much a thing on him because 75% movement speed for 4 seconds is OP on him. OP, and it slows them down when you hit them. So yeah, definitely a good choice. Again, I'd say it's secondary to these two, but yeah, it's an option. Also, ZZ Portal, if you split pushing, which I like to do on Hecarim, then Portal's a good choice as well. It speeds you up by the turrets, helps you chunk the turrets down even faster, and gives you a bit of a presence on the map more than what you otherwise would have. So I do like that as well. So if I was going full tank, I'd still build Triforce first. I'd go in the Hulk. I'd probably go this and then this, but it depends on how the enemy team's going. If their AP is not, they don't really have much AP threat, then you go Deadman's first. Thornmail, you could go for your fourth item if you wanted. You could go Thornmail. It's an option. I'd say it's probably inferior to the other two. I'd say you'd probably be better to go with this one before Thornmail, unless it's a Vayne or just Anna maybe. I'd say you'd be better to go with the Righteous because it gives you some damage as well, or the Omrecher. So those are pretty much the main items you build on him. I mean, I'm just gonna have a look at other builds, other items on him. So the crit strike items are built on him. It all comes from this, but you can, if you build him one of these, you may as well build IE. If you build him Phantom Dancer or Shiv to troll him, then you may as well build IE. Phantom Dancer is good because you can move through units with it, which is you used to be able to do anyway, but he took that off him, which was a bit horrible. TY Rito. But Phantom Dancer does give you a little bit of tank as well, because if you 1v1 and dudes, they do 12% less damage to you. So if you build one of these two to troll the enemy, then build IE as well. If you're going full damage, one of these two, and IE after your Triforce and your Yomus, and just watch the enemy cry. It's very fun. So hope you guys like this. Hope it was helpful to the ones who said they wanted to go over some items and runes and stuff in a bit more detail. Obviously, for playstyle tips, there's loads of other videos I've posted where you can watch routing and ganks and stuff like that if that's what you want to look at for Hecarim. There's loads of stuff like that on there. So hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching.